child, I used to hate this word, okay, this one particular word. It was called school, you know? It used to terrify me. I would do absolutely everything in my power. Oh, there's a mic. I would do absolutely everything in my power to avoid it. I would even pretend like I was sick. I didn't know the onion trick then, but I would just like pretend like I was sick. But my mom never bought my act, and she would always shove me out the door into the school bus. And I ended up going to school every morning. I hated it. And when I was in school, I used to do this thing where I used to look at this little dingy clock on our wall, and the hands never seemed to move. And minutes seemed like hours to me. However, my favorite part about school, though, was like break time. You know, that was my favorite part. It was like so exciting. I used to look forward to it every day. But sometimes teachers did this thing where they don't stop teaching even after the bell rings. And I'm a pretty calm child, okay? I was always a pretty calm child, like decently calm. But whenever this happened, I would want to violently throw erasers at them. I hope for my sake there are no teachers here, because if there are, I'm pretty sure you're those cool teachers that let children go before the bell rings. Yeah. On the bright side, though, I don't hate the word school anymore. I've moved on. It's like, whatever, I don't care about it. I hate a new word. College. And I know for a fact that I'm not the only one that feels this way. But why? It's getting intense, right? Thought so. Why do we hate this whole process of education that much? I think it's because there's so much pressure put on us to perform better than the rest that it almost feels like we can't breathe. All my life, I've been taught that to be successful in life, I needed to have exceptional grades. I was taught that everything is a competition and winning was the only way to survive. I was told that well-paying jobs would be got to kids who got good grades. And that's what I believed was there to life. Money. But I was only a child. Education as a concept was introduced to me as a rat race. I still don't understand why we would voluntarily call ourselves rats, but then again, there are a lot of things that I don't understand, so. Growing up, my entire childhood felt like study holidays for those 10th grade board exams that everybody claimed would be the most important exam of my life. And I was only a student that was a little above average, so I slogged all day, all night to get to the top. And it paid off. I scored above 90% in my ICSE board exams without even knowing for sure what ICSE stood for. Don't clap for that. That wasn't great. So many people got it. Great, you made me forget the next line. Hold on. Yeah, but what I wasn't aware of is that I would get so excited about it that my parents also got really excited. But they couldn't believe it. They were like, are you sure those are your marks? They won't take it back or something, no? Thank God they didn't, though, because otherwise it would have been pretty awkward because my parents announced my marks to like half the world. Oh, my daughter got 90%. What your daughter got? Yeah. It was great. What I wasn't aware of, though, is that the grades you get determine what you do next. It's quite simple. Let me break it down for you, okay? If you get above 85%, yeah, you fall into level 1, where you will be made to pick science. Because 85% means you have a lot of potential. That word. If you get anywhere between 65 to 85%, you fall into level 2, where you'll be allowed to pick commerce. Because all hope is not lost yet. If you get below 65%, right? This is my favorite level. Are you ready for this? They will let you follow your dreams. Because you've crushed everyone else's and they don't have any more expectations, so. If you got below 65% and you're still sitting here in this engineering college, you have rich parents. You see why money is not always a good thing? They never told you that, did they? So unfortunately, since I fell into level 1, I picked science. And everybody said, 10th grade, doesn't matter. 12th grade board exams, no, will make or break your life. And I believe them, again. For the next 2 years, the only word I kept hearing over and over and over again was IIT. Somebody guessed it, don't ruin my punchlines. Was IIT. And how preparations for IIT entrance exams begin in like the 8th grade? What? Stop, okay? So I joined these IIT coaching classes because I was already late to the game, right? So I had to catch up. Now I wanted to do IIT because everybody else wanted to do IIT. That's how everything in life works, right? Somebody else does it, even you want it. She has, why I don't have, you know? Just like that. So I joined IIT coaching classes, and I was determined to give it my 100% attention because I wanted to get into IIT. So that's what I did. I gave it my 100% for like 2 classes. And then I realized that I didn't want to do anything for the rest of my life that is even remotely related to what was being taught to me. But I felt like it was too late, you know, because my parents already paid the fees for those classes. And I picked ISC Science, so they paid the fees for that. And if I told them that I didn't feel passionate about science, I knew for a fact that they'd javelin throw slippers at my face. So there was just no turning back. I had to roll with it. So that's what I did. I sat through 2 whole torturous years of IIT coaching classes while miserably failing to keep my eyes open. And guess what? I didn't get into IIT. Whoa, big surprise. However, the amount of pressure that I was under to crack those entrance exams took a toll on me mentally and physically. Millions of students like us go through this each and every single day because our education system prioritizes grades over actual learning. We're taught to get grades, but not to actually learn anything. We're expected to be these machines that eat up textbooks and throw up the same in exam halls. We're not taught anything that will help us survive in the real world, but ask us a super complicated algebra formula from 4 years ago, oh, we have the answer to that. Y'all keep laughing, I keep forgetting. Damn it. This whole concept of education has been introduced to us in a way that shouldn't have been. According to an article in Hindustan Times last year, 1 student commits suicide every hour. 1 every hour. You'll probably be Netflix and chilling, and then they'll be committing suicide, just like hang in there. That's not funny. It's just how sad it is. India has one of the world's highest suicide rates for youth aged between 15 to 29. 15! We're only told time and time again that we need to float to the top, that when we find ourselves sinking, we don't know how to get back up. We've been told that winning was the only way to live, so we don't know how to deal with failure, which leads to young people taking drastic steps. It just got really intense, didn't it? I'm sorry. I wasn't really going for that, but okay. Nobody cares about your dreams and goals unless it's in line with what society deems fit. You want to be a dancer, a singer, an actor, a photographer? Even if you think you can do that, nobody cares. You're either an engineer, doctor, lawyer, or a disappointment. I'm multi-talented, so I'm like an engineering student and a disappointment at the same time. It's just so many talents, yeah. I can't take it sometimes, yeah. what we forget to realize is that these are actual human beings we're dealing with, you know. We're kind of forcing our wishes upon them, our dreams upon them, and that's messed up. Engineering, medicine, and law isn't the only stream. There are so many out there that we don't get to explore because we're too scared to live our own dreams because we're too busy following someone else's. It's okay to not have a plan. It's okay to not know what you're going to do next. It's okay to not have a clue at all. And it's okay to do something you love without having a plan B, because you only have a plan B when you expect your plan A to fail. Yeah, I saw you clapping. Yeah. I'm a third-year computer science engineering student. I'm only 20 years old. I may not have as much experience as the other speakers here, and I'm really nervous and awkward, and I'm fumbling, but I'm still here, not because I'm an engineering student, but I have a YouTube channel, and I make comedy videos. You know how girls are expected to be really like nice and like pretty and like petite and like, you know, well-behaved? Yeah, I make silly faces on the internet, and like people like me for that apparently. It's fun, you know. I started about 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago, and I have only 23 videos on my channel, but over 100,000 subscribers. But the only reason I cannot be consistent is because my academic schedule won't allow me to do so. But I spend every minute that I don't have to study in making content, because that's what I want to do for the rest of my life. Because that's where my passion lies, and that's what makes me happy. And in doing that, I somehow managed to win my parents over because they noticed how much effort I put into handling academics and YouTube. It does get a little hard. It gets like the work, effort, and time that you put into it almost gets disappointing because you don't see results immediately. But I kept pulling through because I know that this is what I want to do. Because I believe in myself. What we lack is the belief and the confidence in ourselves. You need to believe in yourself, because if you don't believe in yourself, why in the world would anybody else? It's as simple as that. Your life doesn't have to be necessarily based on monetary success. Money is something that society has convinced us is the path to happiness. And I'm going to drop a super cliche line right now, but money doesn't buy you happiness, and that's a fact. Doing what you love and being around people who love you does. You can't fill the emptiness that regret leaves inside of you with money, no matter how much you make. Because 10 years down the line, you don't want to look back at your life and regret every time you chose to chase someone else's dream over your own. I fumbled it. That was supposed to be a good line, damn it. Thank God I have like the dry humor that I can use work with, right? Cool. Let's get back to being intense. Okay, yeah, what is that? Money. Money can't buy you happiness. Doing what you love can. Dude, you have one life. That's the most precious thing you own. So you might as well take a good goddamn shot at it. So start living, not for him, her, me, or anyone else, but for yourself. I feel like what I just said is in complete contrast to what everybody else said, but I'm in your generation, so that's a plus point.